When did you realize you were attractive?
Like and subscribe, or else these'll be in your bed tonight.
I'm not attractive, but a girl did scream "Hey, you're cute" at me while I was pumping gas the other night. I'm sure she was drunk, but I'll be riding that ego boost for at least the next 3 months. My dad started pointing out how many girls were checking me out whenever we were in public. I was always oblivious to it, mostly because I was in a long-term relationship and never really cared. Initially I laughed at the notion, but a few of my girlfriends have started to point out the same. When I was told I was the highest quality meat at the gym by an absolute babe, I felt so objectified. It was great. In high school, my friends and I stumbled across a rally for 9/11 truthers and started to argue with them. At one point, one of the truthers got fed up and told us to go away and get a life. He turned to me and said, "You're a good-looking guy. Why don't you go get a girlfriend? It's rare to get that kind of compliment from someone who's pissed at you." When I was a teenager, girls would giggle around me. I thought they were making fun. But one day I was hanging out with a friend and it happened. I wanted to leave. He asked why, then thought I was joking. Brief confusion. Sudden realization. Total upheaval of my entire paradigm. Edit for clarity. I wanted to leave because I thought they were making fun of me. He thought I was joking when I said those girls over there are making fun of me. Because if I had actually made eye contact, I would see that they weren't looking at me with disdain but with interest. I heard when you're attractive, people are afraid to talk to you. I don't have many friends. Clearly I'm attractive. Only over the last year or so, when multiple people started telling me you could do better when showing pictures of exes that I deemed to be attractive. When reasonably attractive girls asked me out. When my mates started telling me that I'm a good-looking dude. I didn't have my first kiss till I was nearly 21. I was a late bloomer and definitely not attractive in school. I still don't entirely believe it, to be honest, but enough people are telling me that I'm starting to. So hey ho. Well, I guess it all started the first time I went through the 2nd grade. I caught my reflection in a spoon while I was eating my cereal, and I remember thinking, wow, you're ridiculously good looking. Maybe you could do that for a career. When a few of my female friends told me I used to have such a crush on you in high school. In fact, a lot of girls did. I never knew about it, so I never made any passes at them and went through high school thinking I looked like a potato. I was walking past some guys on campus throwing a frisbee and one guy missed it and said, "I'm sorry, I just got distracted by the most beautiful girl I've ever seen." He was hot. When I first started working a year ago at my current job, I didn't talk to anyone. One day 2 girls tell me to hang out with them during break. Became friends, added them on the good old Facebook and messaged them for a good month. Eventually find out they stopped being friends for a while and had a huge argument over me about who saw me first and basically had dibs on me. I felt like a piece of meat. A handsome piece of meat. A really cute girl in my psych class put her hand on my shoulder in a conversation once. Gave it a squeeze and then glanced at my shoulder. She made this little out of the office sound. Her eyes kinda glazed and she started just kinda holding her hand there, lightly squeezing. I was pretty uncomfortable about it at this point and asked if she was okay. She just sorta smiled and said, "Yeah, much better thanks," pats my shoulder and turns away. I asked another girl what that was about and she just said, "Really? Girls like hot guys." Very recently, was out at a trivia night with a group of randoms from Meetup. The waitress was super hot and literally ignored the rest of the table whenever she came by, asking dude at the end of the table what they wanted to eat while still looking right past them at me, for example, and then made a point of coming to sit down with me while I finished up my drink after they all left. That was a nice feeling. When I was a kid, I never thought of myself as attractive. The boys at school, and the girls, made it very clear that I was a buck-toothed freak. We went on holiday to Cape Town December 1998. I was 13 then, and we were in a restaurant one day after a few days of sun and swimming, and I went to the bathroom. As I was washing my hands, I looked up into the mirror and suddenly my face looked different. Guess the tan paid off well against sun-bleached blonde hair. I just stared at myself and wondered if it really was me. I didn't recognize myself. shrugged it off and went back to my family. But I then started noticing that grown-ass men were staring at me. It freaked me out. Boys started wanting to hang out with me on the beach. It freaked me out. I was never hot, and I never wanted to be. But that was the day I realized that I wasn't a total troll. When I actively tried to change how I looked, I was chubby, had a stubbly beard and decently long balding hair. I basically let my mom do my clothes shopping for me and didn't really care about it. Now I'm shaved bald, have a medium-sized beard and have been slowly dropping the pounds and packing on some muscle. For the first time in my life, I was happy with what I saw in the mirror. When I started getting all these emails from hot singles in my area wanting to hook up. When I looked back at my school years and all the times girls would run to me just for a hug. All the time in schools when my groups consisted of mostly girls. Or when I was in school struggling to decide which girl I liked most because so many of them were being super nice to me. I broke up with my girlfriend of 5 years and within days I had female friends flirting with me or asking me on dates. I got a lot more matches on Tinder than my brother. We were having a competition to get matches. It got to the point that I started lying about it when he asked me and giving him a smaller number. All of my relationships and romantic flings were initiated by the girl. I get a lot of very graphic compliments from my male friends about what they would do to me if we were both gay. Overall, I think part of why I've been successful with women is that I'm not too conventionally attractive. I am tall and in shape but my face isn't angular. I don't have piercing blue eyes. And I'm not intimidatingly muscle bound. I kinda have a Jim Halpert look to me I suppose. When my milkshake brought all the boys to the yard. Over the last 9 months or so, I have started to gain some muscle and define the jawline while also growing facial hair. And women started approaching me more and more while at the bar. When I looked at my 10-year-old college photos. Damn, I should have been more confident. In freshman year of high school when I cut off my long hair. Before that I thought I was really ugly and had almost no interaction with girls. Afterwards they started going after me like crazy, telling me I should be a model and so forth. When people started calling me daddy for no reason. Like a year or two ago when I started getting attention from guys that I thought were way out of my league. I didn't get prettier or anything though, just got a lot more confident as I matured. When people started being much kinder to me than I was used to. Started getting compliments to the point where I wasn't flattered by them anymore. Obviously it's nice but when I'm called cute several times a week I get used to it. When I started working at a jewelry store, I had to dress in a suit and I have good taste. People started complimenting me at work and randomly on my way to work or in line at the food court. I remember the first time I caught a guy looking at me as I walked through the mall on my break. It felt so weird but good. After I turned about 16 or so it was like some switch was flipped and I kept getting hit on by guys my age and older. All the time. Some men are very graphic when hitting on me. Others act like I'm standing on a pedestal judging them. I wasn't judging anyone BTW. I think it might have less to do with being attractive and more to do with having big tits. When I was 12 and touched a 13-year-old girl's big boobs in algebra class and she didn't get mad. When my wife told me that I'm more handsome than Tom Cruise, her favorite actor, smirking face. When I was in 5th grade my teacher told me good looks won't always get you out of trouble after I did something stupid. I thought about that years later and took it to heart as a humbling thought, not a compliment. Working as a security guard for a hospital I recently realized I'm attractive to 60-plus-year-old women. I was a late bloomer, didn't get boobs until really late, always rail thin. I had an easy time getting boyfriends but they always came after me. Went to college, shook a lot of the awkwardness off. My acne cleared up. The freshman 15 made me look a lot healthier. I joined a sorority and gained a lot of confidence, as well as learned how to take better photos of myself. By the time I turned 21, I was getting approached at the bar pretty frequently, when not in a large pack of women. It didn't occur to me that I was pretty until 3 guys kissed me at a party. Guys I didn't know. And when I told them how everyone kept kissing me, they didn't stop. They all wanted my number and they all texted me when my friends pulled me home and they texted me the next weekend. It's like I was magical. When all the popular girls started trying to hang out after not seeing me for the whole summer that I had a major growth spurt. boobs and curves included. Thankfully my ugly duckling stage taught me what true friends really are, so never took the bait. Definitely a nice confidence booster, though. Still awkward as hell though. College. Girls started acting stupid around me. I would have some girls whom I didn't know come into my workplace just to talk to me, and they'd be giggling messes the whole time. I could tell that when I talked to some girls on campus they would get really nervous and flustered. Women in general became really nice to me, and I'd get a lot of freebies or special treatment at places.